Hey there, we're back. We're back. It's Tabletop Throwdown. We've been gone for a little while, but we are back for a very special episode. Uh, if you hadn't known already, Gen Con is right around the corner, and we didn't want to miss telling everybody what we're really excited about at the show next week. Tonight we've got Mark Julian, who is, of course, one of the regular hosts on Tabletop Throwdown,
Howdy.
and we also have Nick Dubbs and Stephen Starkey. Stephen Starkey, of course, is our resident D&D historian. Sorry, I can't help it. And Nick, this is your first time on the show. Welcome aboard.
Well,
Um,
thanks. Yeah.
and basically, we're all going to be there at Gen Con next week. So we've got a busy schedule. We've got a lot of games we want to look at, a lot of folks we want to talk to. And yeah, we thought we'd give you a little tease of what's to come. So yeah, without further ado, let's talk a little bit about Gen Con and what we're going to be doing there, just briefly before we get into the games. We're going to be meeting with tons of people, looking at tons of games, but probably most importantly, we're going to be handing out our annual Best of Gen Con awards.
Ooh.
Yes, the coveted Best of Gen Con awards. Basically, it's something we have a little fun with, right? We don't have categories beforehand. We just give an award to the stuff that we thought was really cool while we were there, and then in our wrap up article after the show, we come up with some pretty fun things. Like I'm trying to think of what was a good one we came up with last year, guys. Do you remember?
I think we had best cat game. I think
Right.
that went to Boop. Um, Best game you play in a library. For
What was that one we took a picture of you and Chris
fiction.
playing, and to like looks like the box art.
Oh, that was
It's one of the cranios.
not Pictionary, Cranium.
Yeah.
The Cranium. The kids like seek and find Cranium. Best game that two adults would want to play. That's made for kids. Something like that.
That's right. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, and I actually I recently moved, so I've been finding a bunch of stuff. I found some of our old awards from previous years that we've handed out. This, of course, being last year. This is actually our 5th year doing these awards, and it's become something of an institution. And it's just something that's really fun for us. I think it's a great way to kind of expose what we've seen at the show that we thought was awesome. We've even given awards to our favorite restaurants or food trucks that we've been to. It's it's just a cool, fun thing that we do.
Yeah,
Other people do like other kinds of awards. I think we're the only ones that actually do this one. So
it's really fun to see kind of what happens to them afterwards too. I know
right.
sometimes we spot them out in the wild later, whether it's the next Gen Con, somebody has an award from last year, or I think a couple weeks ago we saw an Instagram post from Brotherwise, and one of our awards was in the background.
Yep.
So it's pretty fun.
Yeah, I think we've seen the awards pop up at booths at other conventions too.
Yeah. Absolutely. All right. Well, let's just dig right into the games, shall we? We've got a lot of games on the list. There's a lot of games, a lot of stuff happening this year. I would say, and actually, not only that, there's a lot of games. There's more than a few games that are actual previous winners from our Best of Gen Con award the games will actually be available for purchase for the first time. Games like Let's Go to Japan, which was an award winner, I believe, 2 years ago. Undergrove, Elizabeth Hargrave, her new collaboration. That's going to be available this year. Trying to think of what else. Actually, that might be it. Yeah, yeah. Now, I mean, Gnome Hollow is coming out, going to be available for the first time, and we've been big fans of Gnome Hollow for a while. Um, and yeah, that's sure to sell out. It's going to be the first. I believe there's a special bundle they're doing at Gen Con for it, um, where you can, if you get the game and the deluxe components, you get like a free plushy gnome or something.
Oh, cute.
Yeah. So I'm probably going to be hitting that day one. I know there's a couple of other really anticipated games that are going to be available for the first time at Gen Con. Mark, what are you looking forward to?
A couple things. The biggest, not really a game, is more of an event, is the return of the Fantasy Flight in-flight report. I'm a huge fan of really everything that they do, but right now Star Wars Unlimited especially. So I've got my ticket for that. I'm going to get my Grogu promo card. And then I've already got plans to camp out Thursday morning to get in line for the special promo cards that they have for the convention. So really excited for that. And what they may announce there. But first game that I'm looking forward to is one that I don't think it's available to purchase at Gen Con this year, but they're going to be showing it off in anticipation for an upcoming Kickstarter, I believe. It's called Button Kingdoms. Not much information was available on BGG, but the artwork and the theme really grabbed my attention. It's like stuffed animals that have weapons like swords and spears, and one of them's got like a TNT box or something. And it's a bidding deck building game where you're playing as children, controlling your army of stuffed minions, and you're using buttons as the currency to bid on these characters and then fight each other. So it's just a really fun theme. Excited to check it out.
Nice. Now, who's publishing that? Or is it just? I guess it might not even be signed by a publisher.
It's being published by Around the Stump Games. I've not heard of them before. Designed by Samuel Barmettler. So I don't know. It looks cool.
Right. I think it sounds like an interesting premise, and there are similar games that we've seen in the past. Like for a while, there was a game that Weird put out.
Yeah, I was going to say it sounds like something Weird would put
Puppet
out.
Wars, and there was also a game called Puppet War where you had, but it was Puppet Wars was a little mini. It was a mini game. Like using minis of little puppets, and they were sewn together with buttons for eyes and so forth. And it was based on Weird's Malifaux miniatures game. So, and just the theme of having your little stuffies or whatever fighting. I think that's I don't know. I think that's pretty intriguing. It lights up your imagination.
Yeah, it's a fun, interesting idea, and kind of, makes you remember your childhood when you pretended that your stuffed animals were, engaging in battles, and now you can do that in a game.
You smashed your action figures together.
Yeah.
Right on. Nick, what about you? What do you got on your radar?
Well, pretty much number one on my list is Terminus. Dan apparently backed it, so he's already got it in his hands and he's raving about it. I demoed it at Origins. It's got the market manipulation system from Power Grid, but you are making a network of a subway system. So it's really cool. I'm a really big fan of it so far. I am really looking forward to that one.
Yeah,
There
we
was
actually just published a video from Origins, some video coverage from Origins on that game. I believe the publisher called it "Ticket to Ride on Crack."
Interesting.
It was also Wild Gardens, which is coming from Rose Gauntlet, which is Isaac Vega, the designer of Dead of Winter. That's
Okay.
his new publishing studio's newest board game. It's a game about foraging. It's a resource management engine building game. It's really gorgeous family weight sort of game. Sort of in the vein of Flamecraft, if y'all played that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but the hook on this one is it's got a single player campaign booklet that comes with.
Interesting.
So I'm looking forward to getting that one on the table as well. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, they just announced that Wild Gardens is fulfilling. It was a Kickstarter that's fulfilling right now. So very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So one that we're gonna get a good look at. Probably the first solid look we've had a chance to get is the Elder Scrolls Betrayal of the Second Era, the chip theory Elder Scrolls game. We're actually going to get like a full blown demo and get to play the game. I'm really excited about that. Definitely a big fan of the Elder Scrolls video games over the years, and there's been a few attempts to bring Elder Scrolls to the tabletop, but I was kind of surprised to see Chip Theory tackle it this time. I know it caused quite a stir when the crowdfund launched last year. I backed it. Mark, I think you backed it too, didn't you?
I did. I've been looking for a big campaign game that I can really invest in long term for a while. And every one that I've previously backed, I've always backed out on because it gets to the end. I'm like, I don't know that I'm going to play it. But I'm also a big Skyrim fan. I'm feeling pretty good about this one. And I think they've learned a lot from their previous games and the character customization that they've done before really lends itself to Skyrim and the RPG elements of building your character and leveling up different skills and stuff. So it seems like what they've done before meshes perfectly into this theme. So I think it's going to be really good. I'm excited to check it out at Gen Con for sure.
Yeah, totally. Absolutely. What about you guys? Any interest in Skyrim?
I played Skyrim, and
I mean, not Skyrim, Elder Scrolls. Gosh,
Yeah,
I just
I know what you're
default to
talking about.
Skyrim. Sorry,
yeah,
it's almost like I've owned it on 50 different platforms or something.
right. So I played it and Elder Scrolls, and looking forward to seeing what it looks like on the tabletop. I always hesitate a little bit on a video game to tabletop conversion. Sometimes, I mean, it's hit or miss, right? Some of them have really done really well. But I have high hopes for this one. I'm looking forward to seeing it.
Well, it's a commitment, right? It's not like you can just go, oh, hey, let's go play Elder Scrolls. It's you gotta if you want to have fun with it, you gotta dig deep.
Yeah.
This is a game that you have a space to set it up, and you're going to leave it out on the table, and you're going to play this for like a couple weeks at a time, I think, to really dig into it. Because if you just break this out for one session every couple months, there's so many mechanisms and things that you're going to have to relearn and do so much teaching and setup every time that I could see that making me hesitant to pull it off the shelf versus like, hey, this month I'm going to play an Elder Scrolls campaign and I'm going to set it up on an extra table and I'm just going to play through it. I think that's the ideal setting or a way to play this game.
I'd heard good things about Too Many Bones, and that was years ago now. So I imagine that with that much time to iterate on the system, right? They have all that RPG experience under their belt. Like they have the pedigree now. So I wouldn't be surprised if this is quality.
Yeah, I mean, their last several releases have been pretty high caliber. Burns Cycle was a little hit or miss, but Cloudspire's... Huh?
That one was out there, though. That was one of their weird ones.
Yeah. Oh, totally. Now, I haven't tried their... they have like the smaller game that they just did like a second...
20 strong.
Yeah.
I haven't played it either, but interesting.
Yeah.
I think there's they just announced a Nemesis 20 strong expansion.
I think it's 50 strong yet? Or
50 strong?
50? Strong? Yeah, it's one of those.
Number strong?
Yeah.
They might have some new expansions for that at Gen Con as well. So while we're at the booth, we'll get some eyes on that too.
Nice.
I think I saw it on the BGG preview list. Yeah, that they had at least one.
Yeah, and then one thing that we have taken a look at and was actually one of the other best of award winners last year, I believe, is Luthier. Luthier is the follow-up release from Paverson Games, the makers of Distilled, which is a great game. Love that game quite a bit. This one's a little crunchier. It's the theme is around making musical instruments and having patrons, like, back when that sort of thing was what you did when you were a musician. And it's come a long way. Like, I think the first time we got hands-on with the prototype was at PAX Unplugged last year, and it was super cool. And it's just been looking better and better. It's actually on Kickstarter right now. So,
oh, really?
Yeah, it's on Kickstarter right now, and they will have the most high fidelity for prototypes and running demos at Gen Con during the week. I actually think all of those events have been sold out. I think Dave just announced that. And yeah, so super excited about that one.
Sorry. Thank you.
I know you've been raving about that, and I love Distilled. So yeah.
Oh yeah. No, this one looks really good. Looks
really good. The demo at PAX, I was surprised actually. I sat down and I looked at it and I thought, oh, this is going to be a lot, but it flowed really smoothly. It was pretty good. So.
Yeah. Now I know there's another game that was on my list that I know. I haven't played any of the games in this series, but I've heard good things. I know Nick and Dan have raved about them, and Mark, I believe you've played them as well. The Undaunted games, and like, I gotta admit, I'm not the biggest World War II theme game. That's not one of my favorite themes. There are a few standout games that are World War II themed, or World War One. I guess there was a World War One Undaunted, right?
No, they're all World War II.
They're all World War II. Okay, all right, never mind. Yeah. See, I don't know what I'm talking about.
I'd play that one though.
I need to let you loan Stalingrad.
Yeah, well, I was like when they announced this one, Undaunted 2200 Callisto, and said it was going to be a sci-fi setting, I was like, oh,
It's not just a
I'll try
sci-fi
that.
setting. It's space miners on strike versus space. Oh gosh, who's the old time Union Busters? The
Like the Pinkertons.
Yeah, the Pinkertons is essentially space Pinkertons in mechs. Like this game was made for
I'm
me.
in. I'm in. I'm so in. I want to try it.
Yeah.
It looks great.
Yeah, it's like one of my favorite game series with a great theme. Yeah, I'm here for it.
Yeah, Undaunted has great deck building mechanics, really kind of innovative at the time when the first game came out, where you have your own personal marketplace of cards, and then you're building your forces from that as you go. So, yeah, we're interested to see how they translate that to this new setting. Looking at this picture, I don't know how current or accurate this is, but obviously we have a map here with kind of abnormally shaped regions rather than the square tiles we've seen in the previous games. You've got various types of dice instead of all d6s, so a little bit more nuance and dynamic combat system maybe than just checking d6s. The art's great. So
I'm excited about this one. Very excited. And yeah, Gen Con will be the first time you can actually purchase the game, so it will be out. And I know they're running demos all weekend too. I'm sure they are sold out as well. Of course, people always get more tickets than they can attend, so it's never a bad idea to, if you're really hungry to get into a game, to just go and hover. At minimum, you get to watch other people play it, right? So
yeah, this is one that I imagine is going to sell out pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, a couple of years ago was when Stalingrad was supposed to come out, and they had some logistics issues, and it didn't wind up coming out then. But
Right.
This one's been in circulation for a while, or like overseas, I believe. So it's like pretty much guaranteed to be out.
Right, because Osprey is based out of Europe. Right?
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
so.
So like I've if I understand correctly, this
Oh.
one like
Yeah, no, this was at UK Games Expo.
yeah.
I think was the first time. Yeah, so this is the first time you'll be able to get it in the US.
Yeah.
So, Steven,
Yes.
I know there's something that's been announced recently that you're excited about.
Yes.
So let's talk about that.
Yeah, the Dungeons and Dragons Player's Handbook 2024 is coming out.
Yep.
So, which is the next iteration of the Dungeons and Dragons rules, but not a departure from 5.0, but a iteration upon. So,
Yeah. It's more of a,
I'm
like a
looking
layer
forward
on
to it.
top than a replacement.
Yes, exactly. Their most recent module that came out, the Tales from the Infinite Staircase, is intended to bridge between both sets of the rules, the 2014 and then the 2024. So the intention with the 2024 rule set is that it'll be backwards compatible, and they'll have the player's handbook available. The first, I believe it's 3,000 copies are going to be sold at Gen Con.
So this is also, of course, once again, the 50th anniversary of D&D. So there's a lot of D&D stuff going on at Gen Con for the first time in years, considering that Gen Con used to be like D&D's convention, right? Back in the day. It was literally run by Gary Gygax. But yeah, there's a ton of D&D stuff going on. And yeah, they're going to have 3,000 copies of the player's handbook available on like a ticketed system. Like you'd have to go get the ticket first thing in the morning at like 7 a.m. every day for that day's allotment.
Exactly.
And then go pick up your copy later in the day. and it's going to be a special foil stamp cover that is only going to be available at Gen Con.
Correct. It's going to be pretty cool. What I'm looking forward to seeing in the new book is the changes that they've made. A lot of them have been already displayed and seen and played with by players that use the Unearthed Arcana system. So a lot of it's already been available to people, but there is some stuff that'll be surprises that we haven't seen yet or heard about. But there's also just it's the biggest player's handbook ever. It's huge. It's got 10 races with 10 classes. Is it 10 classes? No, it's 11 classes with 4 subclasses each. So there's 44 subclasses available. So there's a lot going on, and just. They've done a lot of work. The artwork is looking amazing. The little bits that I've seen of it, just across the board, it looks. I'm pretty excited about it. So, and what else I'm excited about is that it's the precursor to then the follow-on Monster Manual and Dungeon Master's Guide that'll be coming out in the near future. So.
And we'll probably be getting some coverage of that at the show, because Thursday, before Gen Con starts, we'll actually be attending a day, like almost all day long press event for Dungeons and Dragons. We'll get a chance to talk with probably Jeremy Crawford and Chris Perkins, among others on the team. And we're gonna probably get a lot of peeks into the following books that are going to be coming out in the coming months. So yeah, super stoked about that.
Exactly. Hey, and there's one other thing that'll be there too. That's tangentially related. Sorry, Mark, did you want to say something?
I was just going to ask you, how many versions of D&D do you think you've learned?
All of them. So.
How long does it take you to absorb a new system and not confuse the old system with it when you're trying to play with the new system?
It's never been that bad, except for the jump from 3.5 to 4 and then from 4 back to 5, right? Because 4 was such a departure from the series, but mostly Dungeons & Dragons has just evolved over time. And I had to correct myself. Like, I started with red box, so I didn't play the original white box D&D from ancient times. So I started in the medieval times of D&D. But I think that I like this progression, and it's not unusual, it's not unheard of, actually. So I said 3.5. So the 3.0, or the third series that they came out with, their third edition, they halfway through its life cycle, they published a bunch of new rules that were different enough or changed the system enough that they started calling it 3.5, right? And this is a very similar thing. They're obviously not calling it 5.5. They've gone with a date system. So I guess we're following the Windows model. I don't know. But, so now instead of Player's Handbook 2014, it's Player's Handbook 2024. But I think the distinction is going to be necessary because you'll have people that will be able to play both. You can play characters from one, and people can play characters from another. Although I suspect that a lot of people are going to. What people are going to want to do is move forward into the 2024 with characters, because there are so many substantial changes to the characters and the subclasses. Mm-hmm. But what you can still do is grab those published adventures and some of the other content, like Tasha's Cauldron of Everything. And maybe you won't be able to use all of the subclasses and new things that are introduced in Tasha's Cauldron, because the updated versions will have been pulled forward, but you can still use some of those older things. So I think that's going to be really cool. And the other thing that's coming out concurrent with that, which isn't a game, but is the Dungeons & Dragons Forever stamps are going to premiere. They're premiering at Gen Con. There's going to be a ceremony, and you'll be able to get some swag if you're attending the ceremony. And Chris Perkins and Oh, brain just fell out of
Jeremy
gear.
Crawford?
Thank you, Jeremy Crawford and Josh Herman will be there. So
Nice.
they're going to be there. You can
I imagine
get some.
Michael Whitwer is going to be there as well.
Yeah, so this is going to be, you'll be able to be the first people to get your hands on those stamps. So if you're a stamp collector, that's awesome. If you're a D&D player, that's awesome. If you're both, even more. So.
Yep. And kind of also kind of adjacent to that, of our good friends at Gooey Cube are going to be doing their Great Gooey Dungeon Game Show once again this year. We actually gave the game show Best of Gen Con award last year. They're moving into the big room. They're moving into the ballroom, and there's going to be 500 people in attendance in addition to everybody there. And I just got confirmed this afternoon that I will once again be a player for a segment. So
Nice.
if you're not going to be at the show, then be sure to hit up Gooey Cube's Twitch channel for a live stream of that. It's always a blast. It's a star-studded cast. Other than myself.
You're a star, Mike.
I believe. Let's see, Stefan Picorni, the owner of Dwarven Forge, the head of Dwarven Forge, is going to be there. Luke Gygax, of course, Gary's youngest son, and also a friend of Gamingtrend, is going to be on there, along with several others. I saw a list earlier. It's always a hoot. I think we even had Peter Atkinson on there last year. He was sitting next to me when I played. Peter Atkinson, of course, the original CEO of Wizards of the Coast and the current head of Gen Con. So, it should be a hoot. Definitely check it out. Oh gosh, so many more games. Mark, pick one.
Should we go through and rapid fire a few? Or
let's just throw it out there. Oh, you know what? All right. Okay, so I put these two together because it's almost like they're two takes of the same thing. Vegetable stock and stock exchange. They are both vegetable based stock, like as in stock market games. I believe one's by the Op, and I think that is Stock Exchange, and vegetable stock is from Awaken Realms.
Really?
So yeah, like that's a compare and contrast article in the works there, right?
Yeah, the Awaken Realms would not have been my guess, but yeah.
No, I'm sorry. God, Arcane Wonders.
Okay, that makes more sense.
Why do I always
mix?
I mix those names up? Sorry.
Yeah.
All right. Yes. Awaken Wonders. Arcane Realms. Whatever. Tomato. So yeah, I thought that was pretty intriguing. Now we see this every once in a while, right? Like we see similar themes. Like I think this last year has been the year of mushrooms, right?
Mushrooms, yeah.
You've got undergrowth, right? You've got mycelium, like all kinds of Gnome Hollow has mushrooms in it. But yeah, this one, this seems a little more on the nose than it usually is.
So a couple more that I'm looking forward to. I'm a huge fan of Dead Reckoning. You can see some of that behind me up here. AEG is going to have the new expansion, kind of previewing it. The Kickstarter, I think, might be today or next week it launches. Adds just a whole bunch of new content, new ocean tiles, new ships,
Friday,
new
not
sailors.
Tuesday. Kickstarters don't launch on Friday.
It's probably, I think it's the 29th. Is that Tuesday?
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah.
It's next week.
It's either Monday or Tuesday.
Tons of more
Monday.
content for Dead Reckoning, which is already an amazing game. So really want to check that out. Other one is Happy Home. I'm a huge fan of Polyominoes. A Feast for Odin is one of my favorite games. I love games where you get to build something or make something, and at the end you get to see what you've done. Even if you win or lose, doesn't really matter because you've made a thing. So it's just fun. And Happy Home is about being like an interior decorator, and you have a floor plan of a house, and you're getting tiles that are a couch and a bookshelf and all the different types of furniture and decorations you put into your house, and assembling that over the course of the game. So it seems really cool. Kind of a less typical theme, moving away from Vikings and space and Star Wars, and doing some interior decorating. So excited to check that out. And then last one that I had was Reef, which is a game that Dan and I actually did a play test for last year. And that is from Board and Dice, and it's about marine biologists going around a reef and basically collecting data. But the game it's got some area control. It's got action selection based on the movement of your ship around the reef. And there's some mechanisms around how you move based on other people have moved. So it does some really interesting things, and it's a cool theme with the kind of marine biology, conservation, and coral reef stuff. So it was really fun. We play tested it. I'm excited to see kind of how it's developed into a final product.
Very nice. Nick, you got any other ones you're looking for?
Yeah, I'm personally going to be swinging by. Man, I'm trying to remember what the name of the award was. Shoot, I forgot that. Anyways, I'm gonna go through the whole spiel and then remember what the name of the award is halfway through. Anyways, Quinn Brander, huge fan of his Rebuilding Seattle. Came out a couple years ago. He is coming out with a dungeon game. He's going to be running demos of it. Gone to Gaia. He won a award. He's going to be at the awards booth at Gen Con.
Diana Jones?
Diana Jones
Award? Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So I'm going to. I made a point that I am going to be doing that, my dude. He's like, "Oh yeah, dude, yeah. Make sure to book a ticket with that." It's like, "Okay, yeah, we'll do that."
Nice.
I demoed a very early prototype of that at PAX U, and it was really cool. It was kind of a Gloomhaven, but with facing being important. There was a lot of really interesting things going on there. So I'm really interested to see how he's iterated on it since then. So I'm hyped for that one.
Nice. Yeah, so here's one that's caught my interest. Let me see if I can find it. Yes. It's called Comic Hunters. So I'm a big comic nerd from back in the day. This game, I believe it came out in Spain originally, or I might be mixing it up with another comic themed game. No, I think it is. Yeah, definitely a non-English speaking European country. I'm pretty sure it's Spain. Anyway, it's about collecting comics, whereas Age of Comics, which was a game we looked at a couple of years ago, and I gave a Best of Gen Con award, which is about making early classic comics. It was like a worker placement game, using that as a theme. Comic Hunters is about collecting comics and finding comics, and the thing that really kind of surprised me about this is that they actually got permission to use like original comic covers from old school Marvel comics.
Yeah, I was just looking at the pictures. So I was like, wow, I can't believe they actually got the Marvel license for all this artwork.
Yeah. No, I'm super stoked about it. And I believe this is. Oh no, I'm sorry, Portuguese. It was made in Portugal, so I was close. Not too terribly far off. But yeah, this is the first time it'll be available in the U.S. And I'm definitely going to be trying to grab a copy of this as soon as possible.
Yeah, it's an auction game, drafting, set collection. This was not on my list because I hadn't heard of it, but it is now.
Yeah. That art's nice. I mean,
Yeah.
I think that steps it up. That it's familiar artwork, right?
Yeah. Like I mean, I've owned some of these comics, right? Like I had that middle Doctor Strange comic. I had that Spider-Man comic, the first appearance of the black costume. Anyway, so yeah, I'm really excited about that one. Definitely want to check that out. There's another one that I'm intrigued by, if for no other reason than the theme once again, and that is Creepshow. I'm not even 100% sure what this game is about, or what kind of game it is. It's definitely card based. In this competitive story building game, players play as creeps and build deliciously horrible stories to send bad people to their well-deserved demises. So yeah, it's basically like Creepshow.
Is it like the Cyanide and Happiness version of Cards Against Humanity, where you're doing the comic panels? Is it that type of game, or is it totally different?
Oh, it might be.
It looks kind of, maybe there's an indicator here.
Yeah.
They've got Act 1 card, Act 2 card.
Mm-hmm.
So it's neat. It's nice that it's licensed. That's the Creepshow font. I mean,
yep. Yeah, no, it I think it is. I think it's kind of like that Joking Hazard, I think is what
Joking Hazard is what I was thinking of, yeah.
It's like a more complex Joking Hazard, it looks like.
Yeah, because it looks like there's some options for like choosing story paths. Yeah, interesting to see how that works out.
Yeah. Now, I will say this, like, competitive story building game does raise a few red flags.
At least one eyebrow here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But mostly because those games don't tend to fall a little flat for me. But I don't know.
Or they fall apart.
Yeah, where they fall apart. Yeah. We'll check it out. We'll check it out. Yeah. I think it looks cool.
The art is cool, at least.
Oh, absolutely. And then okay, so this one is good just for the theme. I just love it's like
Seers.
Yeah. I mean it's kind of like a werewolf spin-off, so I'm not sure it's something I'm going to get very excited about. But oh my god, I love the name and I love the cover.
Okay, so this is Seers Catalog is the name of the game.
Yes,
it's by Bezier Games.
Yeah, like the seer as the role of one of the characters in the game Werewolf.
Right.
Yeah, interesting. I wonder what it's about, and I like the horrific werewolf, scary wolf at the window, and the little family mother-daughter moment happening inside.
Here's the description. It's definitely kind of in the same world as Werewolf. but it's not a werewolf. It's not specifically a werewolf game. It's not like a hidden role game. It's an almost shedding card game in which each player tries to get rid of almost all the cards in their hand. Each round, players have a unique set of artifacts that give them asymmetric abilities to help manage their hand of cards. When one player runs out, the round is scored.
So it's like Uno, but with
Right.
werewolf cards.
Yeah,
That's what it
there
looks
you
like.
go. Yeah.
Mark will love it.
I've played my fair share. I like Uno more than I like werewolf. So
Yeah, oh, yeah, right. I don't know. Actually, it might be a great little filler game.
yeah.
I mean, like I said, it's the name and the cover have just cracked me up.
Scout already exists. There's already the perfect filler game.
I know, but you can't always play Scout.
I guess so.
Yeah. All right. And then let me just squeeze this in real quick. Just because that's right. It's another boop.
Boop the halls.
Boop the halls.
Yeah, so we actually got to look at this at Gamma Expo this year. It's Boop is. I love Boop. I love Boop.
Boop.
Yeah, Boop. This one actually looks really fun. It kind of spins the formula a little bit more. Instead of cats on a bed, you're now cats on a Christmas tree. Ooh, and you're trying to knock
Oh,
Christmas ornaments off the Christmas tree.
oh, nice.
Yeah, well, the really cool thing is there's multiple win conditions now. You can either, win the normal way as the other Boop games, get 3 cats in a row, or you can knock off or crush all of your opponent's Christmas ornaments. Or is it knock all of your own off? It's one or the other. But you can the cats can sit on them and break them, or they can knock them off the tree. So there's kind of two threats you got to watch out for with the normal win condition and the Christmas ornaments.
I love that it introduces new mechanics and they are so on theme.
Yeah,
I just love it.
I like the kitten playing with the ornament.
Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah, I may not race to the Smirk and Dagger booth at Gen Con because I know they have a handful of copies, advanced copies available. They're probably going to sell out like that. I can wait until PAX Unplugged to get my own copy.
Sure.
But I will own this.
yeah. PAX Unplugged is more appropriate for Christmas. Anyway,
exactly.
Just in time for the holidays.
I'm not ready to think about Christmas yet, guys. I'm sorry, but I mean, this has been on my radar since Gamma Expo, and again, Scott, the designer, Scott Brady, has more Boop ideas in the pipeline. The one that I keep on hoping to see, which he told, I think it was like the very first one he told me about. I think he's still trying to figure out how to make it happen. Was Beep Boop, which is robot cats. So we'll see. This is pretty awesome though. I love the dimensionality of it. Gosh, there's so much more. Like there's going to be an age contrived expansion that I think they're going to be showing off at Gen Con.
Folklore and Pilgrimage.
Yep, Folklore and Pilgrimage. I know that's about to launch on Kickstarter, so this might be like the first real kind of public look at the expansion that's been done. Let's see.
Hang on, I want to interrupt you.
Yeah.
He talked about Beep Boop in an interview
Yeah.
that you did with him.
Yes.
That's available. It's in our YouTube. It's on our website somewhere.
Oh yeah. It's
So,
on our YouTube
yeah.
channel. Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and if I think about it, I'll put a link right here.
Okay.
Or up there or something. Somewhere on here.
Sure.
Yeah. Somewhere along the edge there will be a link.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You think there's any chance Restoration has maybe content for The Witcher or TMNT Unmatched at the convention?
Yes, actually. Suzanne actually did tell us that we're going to get not only get to look at the Thunder Road expansion, the Carnival of Chaos, which we first saw at PAX Unplugged and had a blast with, but we will get a chance to look at The Witcher. What is it? Silver and Steel.
I think something like that.
We're going to get a chance to look at Witcher Silver and Steel and I believe the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Unmatched Adventure set. So, real excited about that. All of that.
Yeah.
Every bit of it. We're gonna get a chance to look at that. What else? Some other things that have been teased to us. We're gonna get a chance to look at, I believe, the next Heroes of Barcadia stuff.
New characters to sub in. Keeps the player count at 8, but you can sub in new characters, new abilities, and then the big announcement is their partnership with New Belgium and Voodoo Ranger.
That's right.
To have the Voodoo Ranger skeleton character in the game. His special ability is, I think, if you either roll evens or odds, and both players basically cheers and drink 5 health and then heal 10. Pretty on theme. Pretty exciting.
Nice. We are going to get a look at Vrahod, which is a game by a company called Weathervane. Steven, do you remember when we went to Genghis Khan? Oh wait, no, you weren't there. It was David. Sorry, you came to Genghis Khan on this last year. You didn't come previous year. Last year, Genghis Khan, there was a booth of some folks showing off a game, and it was like, wow, that looks pretty interesting. It had this ornate kind of 3D printed player system. That was 2 years ago, and we've seen them a couple of times since. We couldn't get preview footage at Origins of it, but we do have a meeting with them for a personal demo of the game. It's like a kind of a campaign style game, but with a twist. And maybe I should.
Yeah, it's one Dan's been about.
Yeah. So yeah, it looks pretty cool. It's a campaign game, but they're doing like their own thing, and it looks a little more. It looks like the player boards are a little more customizable than most campaign games. So I'm really intrigued by that. What else are we looking at? We're going to meet with Atomic Mass Games. Talk to them about Star Wars Shatterpoint, and then I'll probably see if there's anything Marvel
Crisis Protocol.
Crisis Protocol. And I believe they just made some new Star Wars Legion announcements.
Crisis Protocol.
Oh, yeah.
They decorate my shelves.
We can lament the death of X-Wing together.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I want to ask Ross about that. I've heard some plausible reasons for that. I would say, but this is probably one of the best years that we've had, as far as like TTRPG, independent and big name TTRPG
Mhm.
meetings. Where we got 1, 2, 3, like 8 or 9 TTRPG specific meetings, and I'm actually lining up a meeting right now with another indie TTRPG designer on her next project. I believe the highest profile project that she's worked on is Earthborn Rangers. Trying to remember her name. It is Maxine Newman. So that I'm looking forward to that. Let's see, I already talked about Thunder. Yeah.
Talking about steering people towards demos, if people weren't at Origins, they should swing by CGE and hit up SETI.
Oh yeah.
Rad.
Yes, we are going to have our coverage of that up in time for the show as well. Yeah, SETI looks great. Holy cow!
So cool.
But yeah, it's and we are going to get a look at Magic the Gathering Foundations, which is a new.
Yes. It's a new Magic the Gathering it's supposed to be a bridge for new players and old players. So it's not coming out until November, but we'll be able to take a look at it.
Yeah, we're actually going to get a demo of the game. We'll have our Magic the Gathering specialist Chris Wyman attending that one for sure. So that should be good. I'm trying to think. I mean, we've got so much on our calendar; it's ridiculous, and it's probably not done yet. Like we will probably get more, but yeah. Aren't you? Didn't you set up a meeting with Modifius, Mark?
Yeah, we're going to talk to Modifius for about an hour actually, because they've got quite a few things going on. New announcements for both Fallout games, the Elder Scrolls miniatures game, but they've also just had a Kickstarter for it's like a Roman Cthulhu mashup, like Roman legions fighting Cthulhu monsters. We're going to talk about their kind of strategy and philosophy around releasing their miniatures as STL files for people to print at home rather than having to buy them. So they're one of the companies leading that, counter to other companies that really hold on to their kind of distribution methods pretty tightly. So that's pretty exciting. Modifius has a lot going on. So yeah, we're going to spend about an hour and really just get into everything. So you look forward to that interview being published after the show if you're interested in Modifius and any of their catalog.
Yeah, and let me just squeeze one more thing in before we sign off. We're also going to be meeting with Devere Games, and they actually have like one of their big releases this convention is called Rock Hard 1977. It's actually designed by Jackie Fox, who was a member of the Runaways.
Huh.
So,
wow,
yeah.
I like Devere Games art. It's always they have unique art for every game, and it's always a really cool style. So,
I was a big fan of White Castle last year. White Castle was pretty amazing. Hamburger jokes notwithstanding.
Three Ring Circus back here is Devere. We gave them an award at Gen Con last year. Talked to the designer. It's pretty fun. Before I forget, Modifius, the biggest announcement that I can't believe I blanked on is Mass Effect, the board game. That's Modifius. So we're going to get some details on that. So excited to share that out as well.
Nice. That reminds me.
Oh yeah, we got that meeting with. Oh no, we don't. Yeah.
And then on similar theme, the Halo skirmish game.
Oh yeah. That's them, right?
No, it's the other company that I always mix up with Modifius.
Oh, Steamforged? No.
No, Steamforged is just they did Guild Ball. They resurrected Guild Ball, and I think they've also got God.
Mantic. Halo Flashpoint from Mantic.
Yes.
Modifius, okay, Mantic. Right. I always mix them up. So that's, I believe we saw that at PAX, or was it Gamma? I think it was Gamma.
It was a Gamma Expo, yeah.
Yeah, so we saw that at Gamma. They had a pre-order up that I think is supposed to deliver like November, December this year, if they're on track. So I don't know that they'll have anything further along. I would imagine they'll probably at least have some more demos at Gen Con. So, definitely check that out if you see it.
Is cool. Mantic even going to be there? Yeah, they are. Booth 1515. Anyway, well, we just went over the hour mark, so I think we actually did pretty good. We covered we covered quite a bit. Everything on the list. There's a few that we didn't look at, like From the Moon from Hachette, or The Adventures of Conan, which is, I love a good Conan game.
The Pac-Man version of Corridor from Hachette.
Yes. And of course, All Play is releasing River City Glassworks, which was a good, awesome Kickstarter a few months back. There's, we could probably go on for another hour, but I think
we won't.
I think in lieu of that, we will just go get our coverage next week, and then pass it on to you, because that'll be a lot more fun for you guys and a lot more fun for us. So definitely stay tuned to gamingtrend.com and our YouTube channel. We are still pushing out Origins coverage from last month. We've got a ton of video that we still need to publish. At this point, I can't write the YouTube video descriptions and design the thumbnails quick enough. So definitely keep your eyes peeled for that. And we'll see what we can do about getting some like on-site coverage up this year. We've got the biggest team at Gen Con this year that we've ever had, and that's a dream I've always had. I'm not going to hold my breath. We will try to get up our coverage fairly quickly afterwards, though, if we don't get a lot of it done during the show. But you will have a ton of Origins coverage to tide you over in the meantime. As far as Tabletop Throwdown, we will the next time you see us, we will be doing our Gen Con wrap up episode, and that will probably that will launch and lead into the second half of our first season. Now that I've got my studio space almost set up, and everybody, Mark did his move, and everybody's kind of settled down a bit again, and then kind of get through convention season, and we can start pumping out that great content and hot takes from designers and all the fun stuff that we were doing before we went on hiatus. So yeah, keep your eyes peeled for that. We'll have that'll probably happen sometime in mid to late August, depending on how crazy busy we are after Gen Con. And keep an eye out at the show for the Gaming Trend t-shirts, and if you listen to the podcast, say hi and let us know. Yes. Oh, hey, yes. And if you see me at the show, I will have Gamingtrend stickers, and I will give you one. So, and tabletop throwdown stickers. So if you like stickers and you like the show and you like our site, hit me up, and I will give you a sticker at the show. So, well, awesome. Thanks again for watching. Definitely subscribe and like and all that fun stuff. And yes, those are the stickers. Exactly. Yes.
I knew I had some laying around somewhere. These have to be stuck somewhere.
We will also try to keep an eye on our Twitter channel and our social media for kind of on the fly updates during the show.
X.
No, I'm not calling it that. Sorry.
Zitter,
not happening.
I believe is the new term, right?
Twix.
Anyway, God, you short-circuited my brain.
Sorry. Keep an eye on the social media.
Keep an eye on our social media. We will have updates from the show. If anything like really kind of stands out to us, we'll try to post about it, and we'll definitely try to post about our best of winners as well as we hand out awards. So,
absolutely.
So yeah, until then, thanks for watching, thanks for listening, and we will see you on the other side of Gen Con.
Yeah, see you then.
See ya.